the British Black Panther Movement emerged in the late 1960s, inspired by its American counterpart. This movement was not just a mere imitation, but a powerful adaptation to the unique socio-political landscape of Britain. Young black Britons, witnessing the struggles and triumphs of the American Black Panthers, felt a surge of empowerment. They saw in the American Panthers a reflection of their own struggles and a blueprint for resistance. They saw a model for confronting racism and demanding change. The British Panthers adopted the militant stance and community-focused initiatives of their American peers, tailoring them to address local issues. The British movement, while inspired by the American experience, carved its own path, addressing the specific challenges faced by black communities in Britain. They organised community programmes and educational workshops. At its core, the British Black Panther Movement sought to dismantle the deeply ingrained systems of racial inequality that plagued British society. They aimed to empower black Britons to stand up against oppression and fight for their rights. In 1968, Nigerian playwright Obi Egbuna founded the British Black Panther Movement in London's Notting Hill. Egbuna was inspired by the American Black Panthers and the broader Black Power movement, as well as the growing racial tensions in Britain at the time. The movement grew in momentum among the UK black community, particularly those of Caribbean and African descent. The rise of the British Black Panther movement coincided with a significant increase in the black population in Britain, which had tripled from 300,000 to 1 million between 1961 and 1964. During this time, anyone who was not white was considered black. The influx of immigrants from former British colonies in the Caribbean, Africa and South Asia led to increased racial and class tensions, particularly in London's Afro-Caribbean community. These tensions, along with growing incidents of police repression, played a key role in the formation of the BBP. While the British Black Panther movement shared some similarities with its American counterpart, there were also notable differences in their ideologies and goals. The BBP was not an official chapter of the American Black Panthers, but it adopted many of their symbols, such as military jackets, berets, and raised fists. Under Obi Egbuna's leadership, the BBP focused on combating police brutality and racial discrimination in Britain. London police attempted to undermine the movement by arresting Egbuna and 2 other Panthers on false charges of threatening the police. Egbuna was found guilty and imprisoned. The BBP would have to change leadership. In 1970, Trinidadian-born Althea Jones, a PhD student at the University of London, took over as leader of the BBP. With the help of her partner Eddie LeCointe, South Asian Farouk Dondi and Neil Kenlock, Jones shifted the focus of the BBP towards grassroots organising and community activism. The BBP relocated their headquarters to Brixton, a predominantly black, economically disadvantaged area in London. The party began addressing issues of racial discrimination in areas such as jobs, housing, education, and medical and legal services, catering to the specific needs of local black communities in England. Under Jones's leadership, the British Black Panthers also began working alongside white working class communities on issues of mutual concerns and opposing British imperialism. The BBP's emphasis on working class solidarity and fighting racial discrimination and oppression helped to foster a sense of unity among the black community in Britain. By working alongside white working class communities, the BBP also helped to break down racial barriers and promote a more inclusive society. This emphasis on working class solidarity and fighting racial discrimination and oppression set the BBP apart from its American counterpart. The BBP was highly effective at mobilising and supporting the black community in Britain, with numerous achievements to its name. Police brutality amongst black communities is an issue that has deep roots and a long history, particularly in the UK, where black communities have faced systemic oppression and violence. black communities faced constant harassment and violence at the hands of the police. This wasn't just occasional misconduct, but a pervasive issue that affected daily life. Stop and search powers were used disproportionately against black individuals, often without just cause. These practices created an environment of fear and mistrust. As part of their community efforts, the BBP provided legal support for black individuals in 10 British cities, including London. One of their most notable achievements was defending the Mangrove restaurant, a central hub for the Caribbean community in Notting Hill, which was frequently targeted by police raids despite no evidence of drug activity. The Mangrove Nine trial in 1971 was a powerful testament to the British Black Panthers' fight against injustice. The Mangrove, a popular Caribbean restaurant in Notting Hill, had become a target of police raids and harassment. The BBP helped organise a protest against police harassment, which resulted in the arrest and charging of 9 black leaders, including the restaurant's owner, Althea Jones, and activist Darcus Howe, with inciting a riot. The subsequent trial, known as the Mangrove Nine trial, became Britain's most significant Black Power legal battle. You can watch the video about that by following the link in the description, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Mangrove Nine turned the trial into a platform to expose police racism and institutional bias. The firebombing of the Black Panthers' Unity Bookshop is a significant event in the history of Black Power in the UK. The bookshop was a vital part of the black community, serving not only as a place to purchase literature, but also as a community centre and a safe space for black political discourse and activism. During the peak of racial tensions, the Unity Bookshop was firebombed. Farouk Dondi, a member of the Black Panthers, was inside the building when the attack occurred and had to jump from a first-floor window to escape. The bookshop, which was suspected of being targeted by the National Front, suffered severe damage. Despite suspicions, it was difficult to confirm the exact perpetrators of the attack, as the police did not devote significant attention to investigating it. In fact, there were instances where police implied that the bookshop owners themselves could be responsible for provoking such attacks, asking questions like whether they had shortchanged customers or had any enemies. This firebombing was part of a broader pattern of attacks against black-owned businesses, bookshops and community centres, particularly those associated with black political movements. Despite the severity of these attacks, the response from authorities was often slow or dismissive, further intensifying tensions between the black community and police during that era. The British Black Panthers also established a youth league and published the Freedom News newspaper, further engaging and mobilising the black community. In 1971, the BBP organised a march of 10,000 people protesting the immigration bill, which aimed to reduce black immigration to the UK. The British Black Panther Movement came to an end in 1973 when it split into 2 factions. Despite its relatively short lifespan, the BBP left a lasting impact on British society. Several organisations and publications emerged from the BBP, including the British Black Women's Group, the Squatters' Rights Movement and the Race Today magazine. These offshoots continued to advocate for the rights and interests of the black community. Although the British Black Panther movement was short-lived, its impact on British society is still felt today. The BBP's achievements, such as the Mangrove Nine trial and the establishment of offshoot organisations, continue to resonate and inspire contemporary activists fighting for racial justice and equality in the UK. Thank you for watching. What do you think about the British Black Panther movement? Are you inspired to promote solidarity in the diaspora and challenge racism when you see it? Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please support this channel where you can by liking and sharing the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here.